down the street. Chapter 4. The Wall. Ethan stared at the closed door. He backed away from the house and walked as his head swirled. Did I do something to make Avi mad? He wondered. Why was he acting so weird? And did my dream bring me to this creepy neighborhood to find
him?
Ethan stopped and looked around. He thought he had been retracing his steps, but he must have taken a wrong turn. He didn't recognize the park that spread out before him. Across the open field was another development. In one corner, he saw a bus stop. I need to get home, he decided. I need time to think. He quickly passed by the playground when, bump! Ethan fell backward onto the ground. Ow! He cried, rubbing his forehead. He stared at the space ahead of him. There was nothing there to bump in.
There was nothing there to bump into.
Did I imagine things? He thought. My forehead sure didn't. He got up and took small steps forward. He kept his arms stretched out. Thud. His hands came into contact with something hard. Yet he saw nothing. He pressed against this invisible wall. It wouldn't budge. Ethan stared at the houses on the other side of the park. Then he looked back at Avi's neighborhood. They're the same, he realized. The houses across the park were a reflection. The wall was like a mirror, only not. Because Ethan wasn't in the reflection, just the houses. He walked right, running one hand over the invisible wall. He came to the edge of the park and kept going, determined to find the wall's end. He walked for at least 20 minutes, yet he could still feel the barrier. None of this makes any sense, he said. Ethan pounded his fists against the invisible wall. The hits didn't make a sound. What's going on? He shouted in frustration. Why is this wall here? Why can't Avi remember me? And what does all this have to do with the eyes in the sky? Ethan didn't know who he was yelling to, but maybe someone would answer. No one did. No one came out of their home. Not a single curtain was pulled aside to peek at what Ethan was doing. Then suddenly, the blue sky above grew dark. Ethan watched as gray clouds rolled in. A gust of wind blew him backward, away from the wall. Go home! The wind seemed to howl. Ethan shook his head. Wind couldn't speak. His mind must have been playing tricks on him. The wind increased and whipped the boy in a circle. Ethan grew dizzier by the second. Round and round he went until he lost his footing. He could feel himself falling. And just before his body hit the ground, Ethan blacked out. Chapter 5. Prisoners.